First, Break All the Rules, What the World's Greatest Managers Do Differently, by Buckingham and Curt Coffman. Picture a bustling fine dining restaurant tucked away in the Pacific Northwest. The air hums with conversation and the gentle clinking of silverware. There's a manager named Michael who's been quietly working magic for 15 years. His restaurant consistently ranks in the top 10% of the entire company across every metric that matters: sales, profit, customer satisfaction, employee happiness, you name it. By any reasonable measure, Michael is crushing it. One day, researchers from the Gallup Organization pull up a chair and ask him something deceptively simple. Tell us about your best team ever. Michael leans back, thinks for a moment, and starts describing this incredible waitstaff of 4 people from a few years back. There was Brad, a professional waiter who treated his craft like an art form. He had this almost supernatural ability to know what customers needed before they did. More water? Brad's already pouring it. Dessert menu? It's gently appearing on your table before you finished your last bite. Then there was Gary, this wonderfully genuine soul who saw the world through rose-colored glasses, always smiling, always cheerful. Sure, he was professional, but his infectious attitude made everyone around him happier just by proximity. Susan worked as the greeter. Energetic, lively, and blessed with street-smart common sense, she could size up a customer in seconds. Businessman rushing through lunch? She'd quietly signal the server that speed matters today. She was constantly reading the room and making smart calls. Finally, there was Emma, the quiet backbone of the group. More reserved but incredibly responsible, she'd gather everyone before a packed Saturday night and rally them. Let's put on a great show tonight. Stay alert. Watch each other's backs. She was the glue that held them together. These 4 people, Michael explained, were his dream team. They basically ran the show themselves. So the researchers lean in with the million-dollar question. What's your secret to building teams like that? Michael shakes his head with a slight smile. No secret, really. I think the best thing a manager can do is make each person comfortable being exactly who they are. He pauses. I never tried to fix them or turn them into copies of each other. I just created space where they could become even more of who they already were. Let that sink in for a moment. He didn't obsess over their weaknesses. He didn't mold them into some ideal prototype. He simply let them become more authentically themselves. This one elegant idea sits at the heart of one of the most groundbreaking business books ever written. When first Break All the Rules hit shelves in 1999, it wasn't just another management manual gathering dust on corporate bookshelves. It was genuinely revolutionary. Built on a massive 25-year study by Gallup, involving interviews with over 80,000 managers and more than 1 million employees, this book tackled a fundamental question. What do the world's greatest managers actually do differently? The answer they uncovered flipped decades of conventional wisdom completely upside down. Today, we're diving deep into the profound, counterintuitive, and deeply human lessons from this landmark book. By the end, you won't just understand what makes great managers great. You'll grasp something deeper about human nature, talent, and the real path to excellence in everything you do. This isn't just a book for people with manager on their business card. It's for anyone wanting to unlock their own potential and help others do the same. For generations, we've been fed a certain story about success. It sounds something like this. You can be anything you want if you just work hard enough. We're told the path to greatness means identifying our weaknesses and grinding away to fix them. We learn the golden rule: treat others the way you'd want to be treated. And we're taught to treat everyone the same because that's what's fair. It's comforting advice. It sounds logical. And according to the world's greatest managers, it's almost completely wrong. Great managers, Gallup discovered, don't buy into these sacred cows. In fact, they trample them daily. They don't believe anyone can become anything with enough effort. They don't waste time helping people overcome weaknesses. They cheerfully ignore the golden rule. And yes, they absolutely play favorites. They're not being contrarian for the sake of it. They do these things because they've stumbled onto a revolutionary truth. that changes everything about how you lead, work, and live. Before we get to that insight, we need to understand the journey that led Gallup there. It started with a straightforward problem. Companies knew that finding and keeping talented people was crucial to success, but they had zero idea how to measure whether they were actually good at it. It was like trying to navigate the ocean without knowing your longitude. Back in 1707, an entire British fleet crashed into the Scilly Isles because the admiral simply miscalculated his position. He knew longitude mattered, he just couldn't measure it accurately. Modern companies faced the same problem. They threw money at it. Better salaries, stock options, in-office massages, even concierge services to walk your dog. But did any of it work? Did these perks attract and keep the best people, or just create comfortable retirement homes for people who'd mentally checked out? Nobody really knew. So Gallup set out to build a measuring stick. Over 25 years, they asked more than 1 million employees hundreds of questions about their work life. They sifted through this mountain of data, hunting for the handful of questions that truly captured what makes a workplace strong, questions that could separate the most engaged, productive employees from everyone else. When the dust settled, they made a stunning discovery. You could measure workplace strength with just 12 simple questions. These became known as the Q12. 1. Do I know what's expected of me at work? 2. Do I have the materials and equipment I need to do my work right? 3. At work, do I get to do what I do best every day? 4. In the last 7 days, have I received recognition or praise for good work? 5. Does my supervisor or someone at work actually care about me as a person? 6. Is there someone at work who encourages my development? 7. At work, do my opinions count? 8. Does my company's mission make me feel my job matters? 9. Are my coworkers committed to quality work? 10. Do I have a best friend at work? 11. In the last 6 months, has someone talked to me about my progress? 12. This year, have I had opportunities to learn and grow? Now, at first glance, these might seem almost too simple, maybe even a bit soft. Do I have a best friend at work? Really? But Gallup tested these 12 questions in a massive study across 500 business units in 24 different companies. They compared how employees answered with hard business results: productivity, profitability, customer satisfaction, and employee retention. The results were impossible to ignore. Business units where employees answered positively to these questions significantly outperformed others across the board. The connection was real and measurable. For the first time, there was proven evidence linking how employees felt to how the business performed. But there was an even more powerful discovery hiding in the data. What determined how employees answered these questions? Was it generous pay, a famous brand, a charismatic CEO? Nope, none of that. The data showed that scores varied more within companies than between them. You could have 2 teams sitting 10 feet apart, working for the same company under identical policies, and one would be a vibrant, engaged workplace while the other was a toxic mess. What made the difference? Their immediate manager. This was the lightning bolt moment. A talented employee might join a company for its reputation and perks, but how long they stay and how much they contribute is determined almost entirely by their relationship with their direct supervisor. Managers, it turns out, matter more than companies. This simple discovery led Gallup to their next big question. If the manager is the key, then what do the world's greatest managers actually do to find, develop, and keep talented people? And so they dove into studying those 80,000 managers. They interviewed the absolute best across every industry imaginable, from Fortune 500 giants to scrappy startups, from frontline supervisors to senior executives. They listened carefully, searching for the common thread. What they found was surprising. On the surface, great managers have almost nothing in common. They span every demographic you can imagine. Their styles vary wildly. Some are loud and inspirational. Others are quiet and analytical. Some are warm mentors. Others are demanding coaches. But beneath all those surface differences They all operate from one core belief. This is the revolutionary insight that explains everything they do. People don't change that much. Don't waste time trying to put in what was left out. Try to draw out what was left in. That's hard enough. This simple idea that people don't fundamentally change their nature is the master key that unlocks everything else. It explains why great managers break all the rules. They're not trying to transform people into something they're not. They're trying to capitalize on who each person already is. To understand this, we need clarity on the difference between talent, skills, and knowledge. Most of us toss these words around interchangeably, but great managers see crucial distinctions. Knowledge is simply what you're aware of. It's factual information, like accounting rules or product features. Knowledge can be taught. There's also experiential knowledge, understanding gained through actually doing something. Skills are the how-tos of a role. They're the specific steps you follow to accomplish something. Typing is a skill. Using particular software is a skill. Skills can be learned through practice. Talent, however, is entirely different. Great managers define talent as a recurring pattern of thought, feeling, or behavior that can be productively applied. Think of it this way. Your brain is this vast network of connections. From birth, your brain starts forming these pathways. By your mid-teens, some pathways have become superhighways. Effortless, fast, powerful. Other areas are like dirt roads or empty wastelands. Those 4-lane superhighways in your mind, those are your talents. Your impatience might be a talent. Your empathy might be a talent. Your compulsive need to organize your bookshelf by color is a talent. Your natural ability to charm strangers is a talent. These aren't things you learned. They're things you are. They're the unique lens through which you see and react to the world. And here's the crucial point. Great managers grasp. You can teach knowledge and skills, but you cannot teach talent. You can help someone build a rickety wooden bridge across one of their mental wastelands, but you'll never turn it into a superhighway. This insight leads to the first and most important job of a great manager. The first key: select for talent. Conventional wisdom tells managers to hire for experience, intelligence, and determination. Someone's resume, academic record, sheer willpower. These are what supposedly matter. Talents, if considered at all, are an afterthought. Great managers flip this completely. For them, talent is the prerequisite. They know experience, intelligence, and willpower matter, but they can't compensate for a lack of innate talent for a specific role. Consider the Mercury 7 astronauts. These were the absolute best of the best, selected for their experience, intelligence, and grit. They all went through identical rigorous training, yet their performance in space varied dramatically. Alan Shepard and Wally Schirra flew textbook, flawless missions. John Glenn and Gordon Cooper faced mechanical failures and responded with heroic brilliance. But Gus Grissom seemed to panic after splashdown, losing his capsule to the ocean floor. Scott Carpenter got so mesmerized by the view that he burned through his fuel, nearly missing his re-entry window and splashing down 250 miles off target. Same training, same equipment, same mission. So why the huge differences? Talent. Each man had a different mental filter. Each was wired differently. Carpenter's filter made him endlessly curious. Grissom's made him vulnerable to claustrophobia and panic. Cooper's was so calm he literally fell asleep on the launch pad. Great managers know that every role, performed at excellence, requires specific talents. A great nurse has the talent of empathy. She feels a patient's pain and instinctively knows how to comfort them. A great truck driver has the talent of constant anticipation. He's always playing mental what-if games to avoid accidents. A great hotel housekeeper has a talent for seeing the room through the guest's eyes, arranging a child's stuffed animals on the pillow, not because she was told to, but because she feels compelled to create a small moment of delight. These aren't rare superhuman gifts like Michael Jordan's basketball prowess. Talents are everywhere. Everyone has them. The magic is in the casting, finding the perfect match between someone's unique talents and what their role demands. Once a great manager has selected for talent, their next job is guiding that talent. This brings us to the second key: define the right outcomes. Again, conventional wisdom steers us wrong. It says a manager's job is controlling people, defining the exact steps they must follow. Think of call center scripts, forcing everyone to say identical words, or sales processes with 6 mandatory steps. The idea is creating consistency and preventing errors by making everything idiot-proof. Great managers find this approach horrifying. They know forcing everyone to follow identical steps is incredibly inefficient. It makes people fight against their natural talents, taking the path of most resistance. It also kills learning and personal responsibility. So what do they do instead? They manage by remote control. They define the destination but let each person find their own best route to get there. They define the right outcomes, not the right steps. If the desired outcome is customer loyalty, a great manager doesn't care whether one salesperson builds it through deep technical expertise, while another builds it through warm personal relationships. As long as the customer feels loyal, that's what matters. If the outcome is a spotlessly clean hotel room, they don't prescribe the 10 mandatory cleaning steps. They trust the housekeeper with the talent to see through the guest's eyes to find the best way to make it perfect. This approach requires trust. But it's also incredibly liberating. It frees the manager from micromanaging, and it frees the employee to use their unique talents to find their own path of least resistance to excellence. It turns the job into a puzzle to solve, not a script to follow. This doesn't mean zero rules exist. Great managers absolutely insist on following required steps when it comes to accuracy and safety. You definitely don't want rogue traders finding their own path with company money. But for everything else, they standardize the ends, which prevents them from having to standardize the means. Now we come to perhaps the most radical and powerful idea in the entire book. The third key: focus on strengths. Remember Manager Michael from our opening story? He said, "I didn't try to fix them. I tried to create an environment where they were encouraged to be more of who they already were." This is the essence of great management. Conventional wisdom obsesses over weaknesses. From our first performance review, we learned to identify our areas of opportunity and create development plans to fix them. The goal is becoming a well-rounded individual. This is the transformation story we all love, the idea that with enough effort, we can overcome our flaws and become perfect. Great managers think this is a terrible, soul-crushing waste of time. They know spending your life trying to turn mental wastelands into superhighways is a recipe for mediocrity and frustration. Excellence isn't the opposite of failure. It's something else entirely. You can't learn about excellence by studying failure and inverting it. So what do? First, they break the golden rule. The golden rule says, treat others as you want to be treated. This assumes everyone is motivated by the same things you are. If you love public praise, you assume everyone does. If you hate micromanagement, you assume everyone does. Great managers say this is lazy and arrogant. Instead, they follow the platinum rule. Treat others as they want to be treated. They invest time learning what makes each person tick. Does this person crave public recognition or prefer a quiet, private word of thanks? Do they need frequent check-ins, or do they feel suffocated by too much attention? They manage by exception because everyone is an exception. Second, they play favorites, but not the way you might think. They spend the most time with their best people. Conventional wisdom says spend your time with strugglers, your weakest performers. After all, your best people are already doing great. They don't need you. It's the struggling employees who need help. This sounds logical, but great managers see it as a terrible investment. They know their job isn't fixing people. It's being a catalyst, turning talent into performance. And talent is a multiplier. Time invested in your most talented employees yields the greatest return. Investing time in someone with little talent for their role is like trying to get a racehorse to pull a plow. It's frustrating for you and cruel to the horse. Spending time with your best people isn't about ignoring everyone else. It's recognizing that your top performers have the most potential for growth. They're the ones who can go from great to world class. Your job is helping them get there by carving out unique expectations, helping them perfect their style, and running interference so they can focus on what they do best. So what about weaknesses? They don't ignore them. Instead, they manage around them. A weakness is simply a lack of talent that gets in the way of performance. The goal isn't fixing the weakness, but making it irrelevant. They do this 3 ways. 1. Devise a support system. If someone's a brilliant strategist but terrible with details, don't send them to time management courses. Get them an assistant, software, or a simple system that handles details for them. If an employee is a terrible speller, don't make them practice spelling. Just ensure they use spell check before sending anything out. 2. Find a complementary partner. This is one of the most powerful strategies. If you have a brilliantly creative but disorganized person, partner them with someone who loves structure and order. Think of Walt Disney, the creative visionary, and his brother Roy, the financial genius. Neither was well-rounded. Together, they were unstoppable. Great teams aren't made of well-rounded people. They're made of people with sharp, distinctive strengths who complement each other's weaknesses. 3. Find an alternative role. Sometimes a person's weakness is so central to their current role that it can't be managed around. They're simply miscast. In this case, the most caring and effective thing a manager can do is help that person find a different role where their weakness no longer matters and their strengths can shine. This leads directly to the 4th and final key: find the right fit. The traditional career path is a ladder. You start at the bottom, and the only way to get more money, prestige, and respect is climbing to the next rung. A great salesperson becomes a sales manager. A great teacher becomes a principal. A great nurse becomes a supervisor. The problem, as Lawrence Peter pointed out in The Peter Principle, is this system promotes everyone to their level of incompetence. You take someone brilliant at their job and reward them by moving them into a completely different job, requiring completely different talents they may not have. A great salesperson loves the thrill of the chase and persuading customers. A great sales manager needs to find satisfaction in others. Success. These are different talents. One rung doesn't necessarily lead to another. Great managers know this system is broken. They know promoting people out of roles where they excel is a tragedy for the individual and disaster for the company. So what's the alternative? They create heroes in every role. They understand there should be multiple paths to success, not just one ladder. They create graded levels of achievement within each role. A lawyer doesn't have to become a manager to succeed. They can progress from junior associate to senior associate, to partner, to senior partner, continuing to practice law and becoming a world-class expert in their field. They also use something called broad banding for pay. This means creating wide pay ranges for each role, where top-performing individual contributors can earn as much as or even more than their manager. At one medical device company, top salespeople earn more than their regional managers. This sends a powerful message. We value excellence in every role. You don't have to become a manager to be respected and rewarded here. This new approach to careers is driven by a different force. The old career was a hunt for marketable experiences to pad a resume. The new career, according to great managers, is a journey of self-discovery. It's looking in the mirror, understanding your unique combination of talents, and finding roles that fit who you are better and better. The manager's role in this new career isn't being a gatekeeper but a guide. They hold up the mirror. They create safety nets, like trial periods for new roles, so employees can explore different paths without fearing career suicide. They help each person answer, what would be the perfect role for you? And sometimes, finding the right fit means helping someone realize their current role is wrong for them. This is the art of tough love. For a great manager, firing someone isn't failure. It's a caring act. Keeping someone in a role where they're struggling and failing is actively uncaring. The goal is setting people up for success, and sometimes that means helping them move to a role perhaps at another company, where their talents can finally flourish. This is the wisdom of the world's greatest managers. It's a philosophy built on profound respect for the individual. It replaces the old, rigid, one-size-fits-all model with something flexible, individualized, and centered on human nature as it actually is, not as we wish it would be. They don't try changing people. They find what's unique and powerful in each person and build on it. They turn talent into performance. In doing so, they don't just build strong workplaces. They help each person become more of who they already are. As we step back and look at these ideas from first break all the rules, what strikes me is how deeply optimistic and humanizing this philosophy really is. On the surface, the central idea, people don't change that much, might sound a bit cynical or limiting, but it's actually the opposite. It's a message of profound acceptance. It frees us from what the authors call the fruitless self-denial and wasted persistence of trying to be someone we're not. It gives us permission to embrace our unique wiring, stop apologizing for our weaknesses, and start investing in our natural strengths. Think about the pressure this lifts. Your whole life you've probably been told you need to be more organized, more outgoing, more analytical. This book says, what if you don't? What if instead of trying to fix what's wrong with you, you focused all your energy on what's right with you? It's a shift from a remedial mindset to a strengths-based mindset, and that shift changes everything. The second powerful lesson is the immense responsibility and importance it places on managers. In today's world, we constantly hear about flat organizations, self-managed teams, and the end of the manager. This book serves as a powerful reminder that managers aren't just bureaucratic layers. They're the linchpin. They're the alchemists with the power to turn raw talent into world-class performance. A company can have the best strategy, the best products, and the most inspiring vision, but if its frontline managers are poor, it all falls apart, because the manager creates the day-to-day reality for every employee. The manager makes an employee feel seen, valued, and positioned to succeed. So what can we take away from this today, right now? First, I encourage you to start your own journey of self-discovery. Take 20 minutes this week and just reflect. Think back on the last month. What activities made you feel strong? What tasks did you look forward to? When did time fly by? These are clues to your talents. Don't judge them, just notice them. Are you someone who loves solving puzzles? Do you feel energized after meeting new people? Do you find deep satisfaction in helping someone learn something new? Start building a vocabulary for your own strengths. Second, practice breaking the golden rule. Next time you want to praise a friend or family member, pause for a moment. Don't just give them the kind of praise you'd want to receive. Think about them. Would they prefer a public shout-out or a quiet, heartfelt text message? Learning to see and respond to the unique needs of others is a skill that serves you in every single relationship in your life. Finally, if you find yourself in any leadership position, even if it's just captaining a sports team or heading a school club, try to see the talent in each person. Don't focus on their flaws. Instead, ask yourself, what is this person's unique strength, and how can I position them to use it more often? That simple question is the beginning of great management. That was a summary of First, Break All the Rules by Buckingham and Curt Coffman. We've explored the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you. A summary is like looking at a photograph of a mountain. It can show you the shape and the peak, but it can't convey the feeling of the climb. The real magic of this book is in the stories, the details, and the quiet moments of reflection it inspires. This summary is your map, designed to help you decide if this is a mountain worth climbing. If anything we've discussed has sparked something in you, I wholeheartedly encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning management theory. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself, your work, and the people around you. A link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please show your support by liking this summary and subscribing to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's continue learning and growing together.